Good morning, it's Caroline from Complete Fitness and Wellbeing with your Friday morning 5 moves in 5 minutes. And today's 5 moves in 5 minutes are going to be taken from our balance and strength class. So without further ado, I'm going to get on with it because I'm running a bit behind this morning and I don't want to have to rush things with you. So as always, if you're going to join in, please make sure you're feeling fit and well. And as if balance is involved, if you're not sure how your balance is, have something close by if you need to help support yourself. And have a clear, safe space. One thing for balance is obviously to make sure we haven't got many hazards in our way that might contribute to any balance issues. But saying that, if we're working on our balance, then hopefully that wouldn't be an issue either because we better help ourselves if we have to trip over something. Right, as we start, we're going to start with one of our regular every week movements. We're going to do our walking heel to toe. Imagining we're walking on a tightrope. Off we go. So feet on the floor, obviously, and I'm literally walking heel to toe. My heel is touching my toes touching the heels. So I'm really narrowing the amount of give I've got to balance. I'm visualising I'm walking along a tightrope. I don't think I ever would walk along a tightrope. That fills me with quite a lot of fear. But similarly, I could be walking on the edge of a curb, for example, which again contributes to having to adjust my stance and how I walk. Now I'm looking straight ahead at you, so I've got a nice focal point. I'm not looking down at my feet. I want to see where I'm going. If this was all right, I might start looking left to right. So I'm changing the sense of that movement. From here, we're going to go into our tiptoe bend lower. So again, feet now hip width apart. And we're going to work on coming up onto the tiptoes. How does that feel? Gently bending, lowering down again. Off we go. My timer's really quiet, leaving your battery. So tiptoe, gently bend, lower down, straighten. So the toe joints are working, hips, knees, ankles, all together. How does that feel? Do we feel fairly sort of stable as we come up, or do things feel a little bit wobbly? That's fine. Whatever it feels is okay because we're working on building those muscles, those connections with the joints. Coming up, oops. And again, focal point, having something to look at to start with. Maybe again you might allow your gaze to wander because that is going to challenge your balance even more. The tiptoe, bend, oops, lower, straighten, pause. Next move, so one of our main moves, and then do sort of not a hop, but a little bit of bounce on one side into a tiptoe. So I'm creating, I can't think of the word, some energy, getting some bouncing. I'm going to bounce for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then come up onto tiptoe. So single leg work, and again, hip, knee, ankles, balance. Imagining maybe when we were kids or even now, you sort of bounce and hop. Lovely. 3, 4. Next round, we'll do the other side. And again, I can really feel that building up my thigh muscles. And then switching on because we're creating that movement. As you can see, arms are out for a bit of balance and having to hold it into that tiptoe position. Again, adjust. It might be just holding that position and a gentle bounce is enough, or holding on to something. But can we come up to tiptoe and pause? Oh, that's quite challenging on that leg. Next move, we're going to do our clock face. And I'm going to use my left leg. So my right foot is going to stay put. And I'm going to do my clock face. I'm going to start visualising the clock from sort of 1 o'clock. So I'm crossing over 11 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, maybe round to 4 or 5. So I'm literally just going round and round and I'm crossing over and then I'm crossing behind. So my hips are having to work, my balance is having to work. Now I've got my right leg slightly bent, so I've got a little bit more range. I can get round more. But again, you could always just stand upright and just take the leg round to wherever is comfortable. We're still balancing, we're still working. Both the hips and the legs. Lovely. And pause. Gosh, that was quite tough. This leg has worked hard after doing the bouncing and then being static and holding it. Next move, we're going to do a little bit of rotation and create a spiral. So my right foot again is going to stay grounded. I'm going to take my left hand, I'm going to reach round, gently bend, reach round to the outside of my shin, come up, open up. That might be enough, and keeping my left leg stepped back behind. Or I could reach round, lift my left leg off, find my balance, come up, keep my left leg up, and then rotate round, and then spiral back down again. So a couple of options. We're reaching down, and then we're coming back up again. So finding the movement that suits you. Actually, I should have used my left leg. My right leg feels really quite tired now. But in the classes, we alternate, or we make sure we do both sides, so it all gets balanced out. And there we go, 5 moves in 5 minutes. Visualizing walking a tightrope, tiptoeing, lowering, doing a clock face, a little bit of bouncing, which might lead to eventually just hopping or something, and then a little bit of spiraling and rotating in different planes of motion. Let me know how you get on. Let me know how your balance is doing. Have you noticed it improving over the last few weeks, few months, or is it something you really want to focus on? I would love to know. And if you'd like to join us for a class, again, just let me know. Take care, have a fab weekend, and I'll see you next week, Monday, for probably cardio and core. So I look forward to seeing you then. You take care. Bye-bye.